Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I firmly believe that XRP will be worth a freaking fortune because it's solving a real-world problem so long as real-world adoption continues. Because even though XRP simply follows the price action of Bitcoin today, as the asset class matures, cryptocurrencies will be valued in the future based on their own merits, based on their real-world utility. And so I wanted to share this story with you from A&B Crypto titled, Ripple CTO bemoans U.S. regulators' lack of clear answers to questions because this is something that's just slowing them down, frankly. But Ripple is the only company on the entire planet that has a plan to solve the train wreck that is the world of global cross-border payments, specifically the settlement portion of it. I understand that there are other entities, including Swift, actually, which, to their credit, they launched Swift GPI, but that's just a better messaging portion of the system. They don't, honestly, and it might sound mind-boggling to anybody that's just entering the world of crypto, but they're not even trying to solve the settlement problem. I don't know what the hell they're thinking, or if maybe, I don't know, maybe down the road they think, well, since we don't have our own solution, if Ripple builds out corridors for XRP and there's sufficient liquidity, then we can build out our own software that also utilizes XRP as a bridge currency. And if they just want to do that, like, I'd be totally cool with that, by the way, because, and I think Ripple would too, because that just means further adoption of XRP, which is core to their business model, and then maybe Swift continues to exist. But I'm telling you, outside of that, humans on this planet have not come up with a solution for the train wreck that is the settlement portion specifically of all of this. And I've also got a few comments from Brad Garlinghouse that I want to share with you that he very recently put out on Twitter. But I want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, so don't buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel because I would definitely appreciate it. And if you subscribe, I'll tell you what, we could be friends, maybe even best friends. Get excited just thinking about it. There we go. All right, so into this piece. Ripple CTO David Schwartz. Ripple is in the news after he commented on Ripple's strategy for expansion and enterprise adoption of payment solutions during the recent Uphold webinar. Uphold, of course, being a United States-based cryptocurrency exchange. More specifically, Schwartz explained the reasons why this has been Ripple's focus for the past few years. According to the exec, the separation of payments and settlements and the fact that the financial system is based on ancient technologies makes it hard to use a digital asset in international payments. Ripple, he claimed, saw this as a problem it could solve, with Schwartz adding that it was, quote, something that we felt only we could do. Now, according to Schwartz, this was only because it wasn't something the community could do as a grassroots effort due to the fact that you can't put software in banks' payment flows because it takes an engineering team, 24/7 support, and a code that passes external audits. Now think about that, and this is part of the reason for the people out there, and they're mostly Bitcoin maxi trolls, certainly. Bitcoin! That's exactly what they sound like. Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. Go away, Bitcoin maxi troll. Ain't nobody got time for your silliness. And then they'll just waddle around. That's what they look like. They have really short, like little stumpy looking legs. They can't get full strides like humans, and so they just kind of like waddle around. And then you tell them to go away, and they'll waddle back to their little Bitcoin bridges where they stay warm next to the dumpster fire and eat their room temperature cottage cheese, which is their favorite meal. I don't even know what's going on with that, but that's what they're doing. But as far as this, because here's what they say. They claim that either bank coins or stable coins are going to make XRP irrelevant. And I sit there thinking, like, first of all, you're not even sufficiently recognizing the degree to which it's important that you have a technologically sufficient, decentralized cryptocurrency with an open market price. And so if you think that you can solve the problem by replicating the centralization and geopolitical interests that already exist today, well, you're wrong. But even outside of that, even if you don't agree with that, well, who's gonna do it? Who's going to make a business around a stable coin and offer 24/7 support, create an engineering team, make relationships with central banks the world over, make sure that the coins are sufficiently liquid? And what's the business model? Like, how are you going to make that profitable? How are you even going to do that? Well, you're not. Now, if that ever starts to happen, I'll talk about it on the channel. Nobody's even trying that, dude. So, like, I'm sorry, guys. Mr. Bitcoin Maxi Troll out there. It just is not happening. Right? And so the piece continues, however, with respect to driving large-scale adoption from its desired customer base, Ripple has not moved as quickly as the firm would have liked, with Schwartz admitting that the lack of regulatory clarity is the primary reason behind this. Many Ripple executives in the past, including CEO Brad Garlinghouse, have spoken extensively about regulations and the lack of regulatory clarity being a detrimental factor to the continuing development of the industry. And on the subject of regulations, Schwartz said the following. The United States has an unfortunate tendency of regulators that don't give clear answers to questions and then a year later go to a business and say you should have realized 3 years ago that what you were doing wasn't compliant with regulations. I know. And those are real world problems, man. There's a reason that in the early days, and maybe some of you will remember former Ripple employee Bob Way. He was active for a long time in the XRP community after he stopped working at Ripple. And he joked, but it was a half joke. He's like, yeah, so he was one of Ripple's very earliest employees within first 10. I'm going from memory, but I think it was that early. And so Ripple was a nothing company compared to what it is today. And so he jokes, he's like, okay, so they're doing this thing, they hold a bunch of XRP, and he's like, yeah, from day to day, I didn't know if the FBI was just going to come in and kick the doors down and say that we're all under arrest, and so and again, that's half joking, because there was that much uncertainty, and so yeah, there's more certainty for the asset class in general, but not enough surrounding XRP. It's not sufficient, and so stuff like this actually has happened. Anyway, the piece continues. Interestingly, the executive's comments were in sharp contrast to the ones made by SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce after she said the following, quote, regulators are slow, and there's a reason we're slow. We need to have a process in place so that we make sure when we're changing rules, people have noticed that we're thinking about changing a rule and they can comment. And I don't really think that those things, I remember reading that the first time, I was like, I don't think those two things are really terribly at odds against each other. And even Hester Pierce, I remembered her saying that part of the reason for the slowness from the SEC really came down to the fact that the people in the SEC, her coworkers, mind you, they're afraid to put their necks on the line, because what if they put regulation out there and things go poorly? Well, maybe they lose their jobs. I mean, she said that, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's the message that she was conveying right there. So she certainly acknowledges that the slowness of, sufficient regulatory conditions is a real thing here. Now, with crypto regulations continuing to evolve within the United States, much of the innovation in the crypto industry is focused in and around the country. Despite the aforementioned statements, it remains unclear as to whether Ripple will relocate outside of the U.S., as some had previously suggested. And look, I still don't know what's going to happen on that front, but like I said in the past, I don't think that when Chris Larson and who was a co-founder of Ripple, and when Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, said, no, we're seriously considering leaving the country, I don't think that was a bluff, because they don't have any power, seriously, as awesome as Ripple is, they don't have any power to make the SEC move along. That's not a sufficient threat for the SEC, especially if what Hester Pierce was saying was right. It's about their necks being on the line, this or that. I don't think that Ripple has that power, and I don't think that Ripple thinks they have that power. I think that they were just being honest and forthright and sharing some information that they didn't have to share, but cool enough, they did, actually. And so I don't know that it's going to spur anything along. I don't think it will. I don't think it has. But I don't blame them one bit for holding the position that they hold. Now, here's some tweets from Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO. And he wrote the following. Our industry celebrates when institutions and regulators publicly laud real use cases, i.e., SEC, Treasury highlighting U.S. crypto for payments, but balks at the idea that KYC/AML is a fundamental part of a robust financial system that protects consumers from scams/bad actors. And so KYC is know your customer, and AML is anti-money laundering. And those things are actually crucial. And so, Ripple has never been one to say, yes, down with banks, down with governments. They don't want to skirt the system. They want to work with regulators and make sure that they're staying compliant, and they are. And right now, with RippleNet, from end to end, utilizing XRP as a bridge currency via on-demand liquidity, Ripple and the exchanges that are utilizing it, they are KYC and AML compliant, which is awesome. And so for the entities out there that are not all about that, I say, I don't know, you must be a Bitcoin maxi troll, so waddle back to your bridge and enjoy some room temperature cottage cheese. Yummy, yummy. And by the way, this tweet was from December 8th, so it's pretty recent here. And then he writes, reasonable oversight is necessary if we want crypto to be the infrastructure of the next-gen financial system. With potential new U.S. guidance for non-custodial crypto wallets, let's not forget the end goal, to build a more inclusive and efficient financial system for all. Protecting consumers has to be part of that. I'm not against privacy. I'm against bad actors taking advantage of anonymous transactions. I've said many, many times before, KYC and AML matter for crypto to move from the fringes to an integral part of our global financial system. Hear, hear, Mr. Garlinghouse. I like that thread. You're getting a heart on that one. Did I heart the other one? I'm going to heart all three right now. There we go. I already hearted one of them. All right, that's it for this video, but thank you very much for stopping by, my friends. You are super duper awesome. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.